Welcome to We Review Stuff, the podcast where we review stuff. Every week, we review 3 new things to definitively work out what the best thing is. I'm Alex Harosh, and I'll be your host this week. I'm joined by an A-plus panel of reviewers. To start, we've got, for one and only, one of 2 Fergus holidays that come up on the first page of Google. Have you encountered your doppelganger today?
I have not, but I've heard there's a 3rd Fergus in the running now, and I don't like it.
And not to be confused with the 17th century Scottish economist, Adam Smith. Your namesake is considered the father of capitalism. How does that make you feel?
Not such a fan of laissez-faire capitalism, but I mean, I am a huge fan of powdered wigs and knee breeches, so it all kind of balances out.
And while there may not be an iron team, there is one in Hannah Geremia. Hannah is a writer on our sister website, Safewise. How wise are you feeling today, Hannah?
Not very wise. I think if I was a D&D character, I'd have a wisdom of about 4.
Well, at least you've got the charisma for the podcast. That's all you need today.
True.
Anyway, let's get into it. Fergus, what are you reviewing today?
I am reviewing a new way to entertain and or horrify your friends.
Excellent. How about you, Hannah?
I am reviewing Mineko's Night Market, the Japanese-inspired game that is not very good.
Oh, no. And what terrors are you going to unleash on this podcast today, Adam?
I'm going to be talking about the fastest delivery system that cuts out the middleman between crustacean and your stomach.
Intriguing.
Don't forget to stay until the end of the episode, where we'll rank everything we're reviewing on the list. The list is our definitive list of what's good and what's not. We'll find out if any of our new additions are better than the iPhone 15's USB-C port, or worse than the Threads tablet app. Let's kick it off with Ferg.
Hey, all right. So, as you all know from the first episode of the podcast, I like to start things with a story. We've reviewed a lot of interesting things so far on the podcast, from hardware to connectivity standards to fast food. Last week we reviewed the Threads Android app, and I'm really upset that I was not a part of that because I have so many feelings and thoughts about Threads. But to try and make up for some of that difference, I am here to review another meta product this week. And that product is known as AI stickers. AI stickers aren't the first sort of mainstream example of generative AI image tech. Like obviously ChatGPT and stuff like Midjourney and DALL-E has been around in the news for the last year or so. But it's kind of like one of the most interesting scaled up examples to date, because everyone who is already on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, or Messenger kind of already has access to them. They integrate basically within the Facebook Messenger messaging interface, and you, in the same way that you would just send someone a sticker, you can now type in a prompt and it will create a sticker. And these stickers are cute and funny and weird. They're so weird. They're sometimes a little scary. But the whole concept is crazy.
It feels like the weirdness would really only be limited by your own sick imagination.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't know if you knew this, but the internet is full of sickos.
Especially Ferg.
So I've never been a big stickers person. I'm usually more of like a send someone a funny GIF or a meme. I would say stickers are next to like the thumbs up in terms of things I accidentally send on Facebook 90% of the time. However, I will say that since they launched over the last week or so, AI stickers have kind of changed that for me. Instead, when I'm trying to weigh in on a conversation, why send an appropriate meme when I can try and see what the image generator can come up with in terms of illustrating this weird situation?
So what have you used it for so far?
Well, some of the things I've created include a clown hotel, Karl Marx hanging out with his best friend, Margaret Thatcher, a dinosaur playing with Lego, the Pope playing the saxophone, Pikachu, but make it cubism, Tim Cook praying over the grave of Clippy.
What?
A Zune making out with an iPod, and Ahsoka from Star Wars playing with a fidget spinner.
So are they any good? Like, 'cause these are amazing prompts, but what are the results like?
Yeah, look, so the results vary, but it's a lot of fun to try and steer it in the direction of what you want, right? Most of the time, what you're getting is a very cartoonish thing. Like, it definitely feels like the results are kind of being steered towards this is a sticker. You can't really get it to describe like an intricate scene. I could get one of Karl Marx scrolling Twitter, but I couldn't get one of Karl Marx scrolling Twitter, looking at Elon's tweets on a New York subway car surrounded by clowns. Like that's that's like an illustration. And the limits of it are not really built to scale that far. You can maybe get 1 or 2 people into a sticker, but it knows it's trying to create a sticker, and trying to get around that is a bit tricky.
So are they all quite cartoony then? Like, is it all using a similar style, or?
I would say there's definitely some broad trends in terms of like that cartoony aesthetic. There's a little bit of variation, but it is all cartoonish or even caricaturesque in terms of like real world figures and stuff like that. And also just generally like its knowledge of public figures can vary, right? Like it knows what a stormtrooper from Star Wars is. It does not know who former Telstra CEO Andy Penn is, for instance.
Disappointing.
But it's like one of those things where it's interesting to try and throw like things at it and be like, oh, it understands this video game character, but it doesn't know who this video game character is.
That's got some really interesting copyright implications. Like, I have seen like a terrifying like breastfeeding Pikachu going around Twitter. And you can't imagine that Nintendo is overly happy with Facebook generating
weird stuff with their IP.
Yes. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly, Adam.
Just off that, there is a breastfeeding Shrek. Do with that information what you will.
I was so much happier before I knew that.
It turns out Hannah was bringing the terrors all along.
That's right.
Yeah, what can I say?
I mean, you do raise a good point with the copyright implication stuff. I think on some level, the attitude of companies like Nintendo until the law kind of catches up with AI is probably going to be pretty similar to people making like, I don't know, smutty fanfic of characters that are owned by other properties and like filthy fan art and stuff like that. Like that's kind of what this is. It's just weird that there's a very official tool that lets you make it in seconds.
Nintendo is very protective of its IP, but like, Facebook is like almost $1 trillion company that is like using other people's IP to generate images within its apps. So like I think like there's like interesting contrast of what Getty is doing with its generative AI tool, where it specifically has like a lot of safeguards so it won't generate images of real people.
I find when we're talking about like the implications of this stuff, the way I like to sum it up so that I no longer have to think about it is this is a sticky situation with a lot of nuance. All right, let's not think about it anymore.
Won't you think about the lawyers? Like, the lawyers stand to make so much money.
I thought I was pretty clear that I don't want to think about it anymore.
So I will say that this tech is built on a combination of Llama, which is Meta's like open sourced AI stuff, and then also something that's proprietary called Emu, which they're using to power a bunch of other AI features within their products. And while there's nothing out there specifically about the image side of it, there is a lawsuit in the US where a number of authors are suing Meta and OpenAI over the way that copyrighted material was scraped and used to train Llama. So like I haven't seen anything specifically yet where artists have say alleged that AI stickers is like stealing their art or ripping it off and stuff like that. But given the recent history, I wouldn't be like super shocked if that came out.
Right, like this was my Karl Marx hanging out with Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, I guess on the broader AI implication stuff, I mean, like, there's a lot of really strong opinions out there. I would say I'm more open to messing with it when it's like a little bit of fun, like this. Like, hey, look at this funny thing I put in a box and here's what it gave me. I can show my friends it. Or like that LinkedIn post generator that lets you like adjust the level of cringe on a sliding scale. Like, that's just like a little bit of fun. It's a treat. It becomes less fun when corporations, use AI to justify layoffs or not pay people that they would otherwise pay and sort of, displace people in that way.
Think about all the sticker artists Meta is putting out of business right now.
On that note, what are your vibes on AI? Is anyone outside the C-suite actually optimistic about this?
It sounds like a sticky situation with a lot of nuance.
And you'd prefer not to think about it?
All right, moving on.
Wait. Hold on.
He said he didn't want to think about it.
I could not have been clearer about that.
Anyway, that's Meta stickers.
What do you rate Meta stickers?
I would like to rate Meta's AI stickers as sticky/problematic, maybe?
So for review number 2, we've got Hannah. Talk to us about what you've been playing.
So, I have been playing Mineko's Night Market, which recently got released on PC and Switch. And I just want to preface by saying I love cozy games. There's not much that a cozy game can do that will make me not like it or not want to play it, at least for a few hours. I have over 400 hours on Stardew Valley.
Holy shit.
Huge into Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon. I love it all. If it's got cute graphics and I can craft stuff, I'm going to play it probably. But Mineko's Night Market just fell so flat of what I wanted it to do.
When did you start to lose the faith?
Maybe around hour 15, or I'm going to say hour 13. I really wanted to like it, and I wanted to give it the time it deserves because the graphics are so cute, and you can pet cats, and they follow you around, and it's great. But it just...
So I can relate to you spending like 15 hours before you decide, maybe I don't like this. I can relate to that a lot as someone who spends way too much time playing games that are not very good.
Yes.
But I guess big picture, like you said, it's a lot like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon. I guess what was like the pitch for this one? Why is it different?
The pitch for it was essentially you craft items and you find things around the island, put them together with little recipes that you find from different villages, craft all these things and then sell them at the night market. And at the night market, which happens once a week, you set your own prices and then people in the village come and be like, wow, this is what you've been working on. This is great. And they'll be like, I don't want to pay your price. That's too high. And then you can choose to lower it, or you can choose to be like, no, this is my price.
No.
Get lost. And most of the time, you can set it as high as you want, and then people will still pay it. Which is...
So it's a capitalism simulator.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So that's why it's not very cozy.
The issue with it is, in games like Stardew Valley, each day lasts like 13 minutes. You can go fishing, you can plant your crops, you can talk to people, you can do all of that in one day. You can get a lot of things done. But especially in those first like 10 to 15 hours, you have one like heart. And with that one heart, you can pick about 5 flowers or pat 5 cats, and then you can't do anything else.
So you
the
choose
whole
the
day.
cats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, why would you choose anything but the cats?
Exactly. That's what makes the experience fun. And then you can't do anything else because you're too tired, so you have to go to bed. Every day lasts like 1 minute, and you can't.
It's just like real life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk myself up, but I can pat a lot of cats in 1 minute. And if all you've had time to do every day is pet 5 cats, then essentially all you have to sell at the night markets is cat dander.
Yes. Well, actually, when you pat a cat, you get a hairball from the cat, and you can sell the hairballs at the market, and people will buy them.
I don't know about this.
What's a hairball go for these days?
20 gold for a hairball. 1 hairball. It's not that bad.
So I feel like you had mentioned that the crafting was not particularly straightforward. Like, what's the problem with the crafting mechanic?
So the main issue that I had was chopping down a tree. So in order to chop down a tree, you have to buy an axe. And an axe is 600 gold.
That's a lot of hairballs.
I have so many questions about this economy.
But you really got to put in the hard yards, make all your stuff, and then sell it all, get that axe, and then you go to the forest, and the game doesn't even tell you how to chop down a tree. I'm like, that's fine. I've played Stardew Valley before. I know how to chop down a tree.
How hard could it be?
See, I thought that it would be the same type of mechanic. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, is that there is a kind of a sort of language that these things use, that you expect that, chopping down a tree in one cozy game is going to be very much like chopping down a tree in another.
It sounds like this has really committed the criminal sin of reminding you that you could be playing a better game.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I liked it at first because it was just like, oh, you don't really need to think about it. You could just do the stuff. But there's so many other better games that you can be mindless while doing.
Yeah, cozy games aren't made for thinking.
Exactly.
So how many hours did you end up putting into this?
Probably about between 18 and 20, I believe, which is probably a bit too much in hindsight.
Not as bad as Ferg with Diablo 4. How many hours do you have in Diablo 4, Ferg?
I think I'm almost at 100 now. I'm closing in. I'll probably start that new playthrough in a couple days once that season starts.
And you're pretty down on it, right?
I was very down on it the first playthrough, but they have done some post release patches that have been steadily tweaking it in an upward direction, even if the game has foundational issues still, I would say.
So you hate played your way through it.
Definitely the first time, for sure.
So Hannah, what do you rate Mineko's Night Market?
I rate it 1 ginger hairball.
Okay, I'm a little bit worried. Adam mentioned crustaceans or some sort of crustacean delivery mechanism, and I'm really not sure what he's got in store for us with the last review.
Well, hold on to your hats.
I think you're the only one with a hat.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I don't have
everyone in spirit, gather around me and hold on to mine. Okay. So I think that we're all familiar with the grotesque Lovecraftian bottom-dwelling sea bug known as the crab that holds within its horrifying carapace the meat of the most decadent flavor, right? Crab is objectively a very top-tier meat.
No.
I'm sorry, but I will suffer no arguments at this point. Yes, my entire argument is predicated upon this assumption. But I'm sure that you've, like me, been to a restaurant and ordered crab legs, right? And they come with their own bespoke little tools for extracting the crab meat. It's like, I just wanted to eat something. I didn't sign up for like a DIY project. And I, for one, always run out of patience before I run out of appetite, right? Now, if you found yourself in this situation, which I'm sure you have, and have had similar feelings to me, which being thinking, intelligent people, I'm sure you have I got news for you. It's called soft shell crab, right? The crab that you can just eat whole. Now, the cool thing about soft shell crab is that this is not some new or different species of crab that's just rolling around on the ocean floor like some sort of gelatinous ooze.
But that'd be very cool.
Yeah. I want to see that.
But it is not. It is a normal crab that has molted its shell and has been harvested and prepared in the tiny window of opportunity before it has begun to grow a new shell. And it has to be hard to do this, right? Because I'm certain that, like all animals, when they're in that state, crabs have the natural inclination to hide their shameful nudity from the eyes of a vengeful god, right? But somehow, people have hauled them up out of the ocean, battered them, fried them, and served them to you. Now, what would you expect to pay for a meal this luxurious? Knowing what I know about supply and demand curves, I would say roughly $1 billion, right? But no, at most restaurants, you can get soft shell crab for about $8 to $15, which just seems bonkers to me. Given
that seems wrong.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
That's only a little bit more than the cheeseburger.
That's right. And given the amount of trouble that people have to go through to get them, like who came up with these prices? You know, like I just imagine like a sea captain, we were sailing through the roaring 40s when Poseidon kicked up a squall the likes of which this old sea dog has never seen. 2 men were washed over the side to a watery grave, but nevertheless we threw our pots in and hauled up from the ocean our delicious bounty, the soft-shelled crab. Like, my God, what are you charging for it? I think $8 be a fair price. I think that'd be roughly commensurate with the effort and the loss of life. Like, my goodness, how do they make the economics of this work? And yet they work in your favor.
Do you have a favorite soft shell crab, Adam? What's your reference point?
Okay, so the best and first soft shell crab I ever had was at this little cafe right on the harbor in Boston. And it was a kind of a misty, cold day sitting out over the harbor. And the thing just came on a bun with like some spicy sauce and some lettuce and its legs sticking out the side, mocking me, right? And I ate that entire crab And it was one of the most satisfying meals I've ever had.
What's the name of a restaurant?
Beats me. This is like 15 years ago.
You got me to find it.
Rude.
But I have had soft shell crab many, many times since then, and very rarely has it disappointed. I think I'm comfortable with reviewing just the concept of soft shell crab, given the fact that it is obviously, it should be the rarest food in the world, and yet you can order it as an entree at almost any Chinese restaurant you find.
I don't respect this argument, but I do respect the accent.
Now, Adam, I do have a question. When they catch these soft shell crabs, do they mingle with the hard shell crabs as well, or are they like segregated?
Ooh, well, I would imagine that it would be much like the way we tend to seclude beaches for the nude, right? Like I would imagine that, as I said, the soft shell crabs would want to hide their nudity from their peers.
All right, so I want to revisit a point with you, Adam. You saying that this is the best of all the meats. I don't know about that. Stack rank me soft shell crab versus 5 other meats here. You're going to put that above chicken? The versatile chicken?
Chicken is versatile, and it's a good utility player. And, it's a nice workman-like meat. But chicken is never making the Hall of Fame, right? It puts up, respectable numbers over its career. It has fairly high wins above replacement. But it's not going out there and making any highlight reels.
What about Wagyu?
You're going to put soft shell crab above that, huh? You really going to go there?
For the price? Yes.
Crazy.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Ludicrous.
Real A5 Wagyu.
If money is no object, would you be having soft shell crab over A5 Wagyu?
I'd be having lobster wrapped in Wagyu and stuffed inside a soft shell crab.
So lobster.
Find me a soft shell lobster, Ferg. Find me a soft shell lobster.
With that in mind, Adam, what do you rate the concept of soft shell crab?
I would rate it 10 legs out of 10.
It's now time to get to the best part of the episode, where we'll add everything we just reviewed to the list. Fergus seems like he has some really strong feelings about where soft shell crab should be on this list. Like, I think, it seems like, you might be angling it towards like below the burger.
If you put me below the burger, Ferg, I swear to God.
Even I don't know if I could do that, but that's really more indicative of my evaluation of the burger than it is my high esteem of soft shell crab.
Okay, so this will obviously be bumping everything on the list down one spot as it sits in its rightful place above the USB-C port.
Really?
USB-C ports are a dime a dozen, okay? But a crab that has molted its shell and been caught in such a small window of time. Like, they begin regrowing those shells right away. For the sake of rarity, I'm going to put the soft shell crab at the top of the list.
I don't know if you have any allies on this.
Yeah.
So we finished discussion on that point. So we'll go ahead and move to the other items we reviewed.
Hold up. Again, I'm willing to put it above the Hungry Jack's $2.50 cheeseburger, but below Marvel Snap.
What's between those two? Is there anything between those two?
Oh, the soft shell crab. That's where the soft shell crab is going on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
It's clearly better than the $2.50 cheeseburger from Hungry Jack's. But, your soft shell crab is over in, maybe 5-10 minutes, depending on how quickly you eat the glorious burger. Whereas Marvel Snap can give you...
nourish your brain and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, but you're overlooking the omega-3 in the crab. So if we're talking about brain nourishment here, then I think objectively, the crab has to come out on top. If that's what we're measuring by, if that's what we're measuring by, Ferg, in your own words.
I said it would nourish your brain through entertainment and colorful pixels.
Oh, so now we're adding qualifiers to it. I see where it is. We're retconning our argument. Okay.
I mean, yes. That's this entire segment, yes.
Okay, I will begrudgingly sit between Marvel Snap and the burger. but I do so under duress.
It's a respectable result, Adam.
Hannah, what's your argument for Mineko's night market? Like, it seems like you didn't love it. So, but like, is it better or worse than using a Zune HD in 2023?
Look, I think it's better. I think it's got some redeeming qualities. Like, it's cute. The soundtrack is good. It would be good for, I don't know, like a kid or something. Just not someone who has a functional brain.
You've led me on a real journey there. I was ready to say, you know what? I would maybe put this behind the crab, but now I'm not so sure.
No, it doesn't go behind the crab. It's not that good.
Not that high?
Yeah, I will be cold and dead in the ground before a subpar cozy game goes above my soft shell crab.
Rightfully so. I'll be the first to say that.
So worse than the Hungry Jack's $2.50 barbecue cheeseburger?
I think so. I think we can put it under there.
I think we've got a consensus. Mineko's night market, better than using a Zune HD in 2023, but worse than Hungry Jack's $2.50 barbecue cheeseburger.
I think you would feel very differently if you ate that burger. I was like, let's not be too hasty here. I mean, I think we've settled it, but it's something to think on.
And Ferg, how are you feeling about Meta's AI stickers? Are they better than the Playdate?
Ooh, they're not better than the Playdate. No, for sure. And they're definitely more troubling than the Playdate. Less pure. What's between that? Do I like them more than Marvel Snap? I don't know. Marvel Snap's probably one of the best card games, video game card games ever made. So probably not.
So I think it comes down to the concept of soft shell crab versus
it sure does, doesn't it?
AI stickers. Let's
Battle to
go,
the death.
gents.
Yeah, what say we let Meta decide this one and produce a sticker of who would win in a fight between a soft shell crab and artificial intelligence. We will determine which one comes out on top based upon who seems to have the upper hand in the artwork that it produces.
All right. From my estimation, the robot looks to be going, "Hey, hello there," and the crab is like, "I'm gonna just mess you up with this claw."
Okay, so the crab seems to be the aggressor,
but
in the situation.
It's definitely the aggressor. In fairness, though, I don't know if this is an accurate representation of soft shell crab. Actually, I've got two others to show you. In fact, we got this one,
Okay.
which is just a little more on equal ground.
Okay.
And then we got this one, which is the two of them hanging out with swords.
Ooh.
They're just holding swords pointing at each other, and they're pretty cute.
Yeah, if we look at all three stickers in the context, is what would you say the median would be for who is winning that battle?
I feel like they're all pretty evenly matched. But again, I didn't say soft shell crab defeating a robot in a fight. You know what I mean? My prompt was just the two of them fighting.
Okay, so
it's technically giving me what I asked for.
You would ask ChatGPT about who would win?
Yes, sure. All right, I have consulted the robots, and I have the answer for us. I asked them who would win a fight between a robot and a soft-shell crab, and the robot has come down with a non-biased answer, purely objective, as Adam says, that a robot would win in a fight against a soft-shell crab.
Well, of course a robot's going to say that.
Robots are programmed to be strong, fast, and agile. They can also be equipped with weapons and armor. Soft-shell crabs, on the other hand, are inherently small and fragile creatures. They have no natural weapons or defenses.
What about the shell?
In a fight, a robot would simply overpower the soft-shell crab. It could easily crush the crab with its strength or pierce it with its weapons. The crab would have no way to defend itself.
That is convincing, even if it is very biased. Okay, so we've got our new ranking. In number 1, the iPhone 15C's USB port. In number 2, Panic's Playdate. In number 3, Marvel Snap. Number 4, Meta's AI stickers. Number 5, the concept of soft shell crab. Number 6, Hungry Jack's $2.50 barbecue cheeseburger. Number 7, Mineko's Night Market. Number 8, using a Zune HD in 2023. And number 9, the Fred's tablet app. That does us for this week. If you want to try your hand at reviewing stuff, you should review us. A 5-star rating and review goes a long way for a new podcast like ours, and we would really appreciate your support. Thanks to our reviewers for their time today, and you should go stalk them on the internet for funsies. Adam, where can our listeners find you?
Well, you can find me just on the Reviews.org/AU website, or quietly weeping in a corner while consuming a bucket of soft shell crab.
Ferg, what about you? Where can our listeners find you?
Hey, you can find my words on Reviews.org/AU, and you can find me and other additional, smaller, more interesting, sometimes, words on threads at CVAMPEDOZ, CVAMPOZ.
And Hannah, where can our esteemed listeners find your work?
You can find me on Safewise.com/AU. I also write some stuff for Reviews.org/AU. You can also find me on the lounge with a huge cup of coffee.
I'm Alex Horosh, and you can find me on threads at ahorosh. That's ACHOROS. The C is silent. Thanks for joining us this week. If you want to get in touch or you've got something you'd like us to review, slide into our DMs on any platform. You'll find links in our show notes, and until next time, this has been We Review Stuff, and that's the stuff.